Good morning. I'm digital anchor Brandy Smith. We are preparing for a procession honoring fallen Harris County Sheriff's Deputy Darren Almendarez. He was killed Thursday night, and today his body will be taken from the medical examiner's office to Brookside Funeral Home. Very quickly, I want to show you the route for that. It's just going to be going up 59. And then you can see where Brookside Funeral Home is up along the East Tex Freeway. Deputy Almendarez is being remembered as a hero, someone with a heart of gold. On Thursday night, he was shopping in preparation for his sister's birthday party. They were going to have a barbecue at his house the next day. He came outside of the Jovies at FM 60 and 45 and saw what looked like three men attempting to steal his catalytic converter. He told his wife to run. When he confronted those suspects, investigators say at least two of them opened fire, hitting him. He was able to return fire and injure two of them. Three suspects have been arrested in this case. But right now, as we stand by waiting for this procession, I want you to hear from some of his family members, starting with his 14-year-old daughter, Andrea.
He was a really good dad. He was stupid funny. He just hearing the stories about my dad, how he tried on cheerleading outfits, stuff like that. It was just the best about him. He was a very caring person. He was very, very loving. He was a hero.
Deputy Almendarez had served for 23 years. Most recently in the auto theft division. He was only 51 years old. His sisters share his true passion was his family and public service.
When he found out that I had cancer without even knowing what treatments I was going to need, he was already looking for wig shops for me because he thought I was going to go bald or something. He's the type of person who, he knows where you live at, and I don't live in a bad home, but he would still always offer me during bad weather to come and stay with him because he wanted me to be safe. And that was just something, that's just how my brother is. You know, he's an amazing, amazing brother.
I just know what my dad would tell me. My dad went to see him one time. He was working at Whataburger, and I told Darren this. And my dad looked through the window and saw him mopping the floors. And he said he did whatever he had to do to survive. My father loved him, but he struggled as well. And I told my brother, I said, you know, he loved you. My father admired him when he became a cop. I remember somebody called, I'm not sure if it was you or Anna, he needed a pair of glasses. And my dad's like, if I could send money, I'll send him the money. Sent him the money, and I told Darren, he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I said, I just remember because I was a kid and I would go with my dad to send it through Western Union. And my dad's like, this kid did it all by himself. And I think what drove him even more into the later years, it was his daughter. Once he became a father, he knew that was his role. And I know his baby's gonna miss him, but she has all of us. She has her family. We all love her. Her cousins, uncles, family. She's not alone. He'll be loved, and we'll honor him by being in her life. And I know she's got that drive like her father. I know she's gonna succeed no matter what.
We're taking a live look now at the medical examiner's office, waiting for that procession to get going here in the next couple of minutes. You saw Deputy Almendarez's family there, blood and blue, standing by waiting to honor this man who gave 23 years of his life to public service. Sheriff Ed Gonzalez shared that Deputy Almendarez had been homeless early on in his life and was determined to provide for himself, for his family, worked in fast food before eventually dedicating his life to public service. Again, a 23-year veteran of the Harris County Sheriff's Office. And you heard there from his sisters and his daughter just the value of family. Deputy Almendarez there were 12 siblings and 11 brothers and sisters. Here's his brother, Steve.
I absolutely looked up to him. He was a great brother. We loved hanging out together, barbecuing, and he just had a really big heart. He loved everybody. Everybody here, he loved them with all his heart, and we're going to miss that love a lot, getting that from him, on a daily basis. He had a heart of gold. He really did. Everybody he met loved him, except probably some of the people he arrested, but everybody else besides that loved him. If you met him, you would have loved him yourself. Great guy. We're devastated. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to try to move on without him. To me, he was a super cop. He wanted to be a cop 24/7. And he always wanted to be in law enforcement. He loved being a cop. He loved wearing a badge. He had a lot of pride in what he did, being a cop, being a dad, being a brother, uncle. As far as his work, I know he worked for the Violent Crime and Gang Suppression Unit for a while. He worked in Auto Theft Division as well. They've made a couple of videos of him, doing some stuff. He took his job very seriously, and he was a hard worker ever since he was little. He was a hard worker, and he helped my mom raise me, and me being younger than him at the time. We grew up together, but he also helped me grow up a lot,
That was Deputy Almendarez's younger brother, Steve. And now we're watching the procession begin from the medical examiner's office to Brookside Funeral Home, carrying the body of fallen Harris County Sheriff's Deputy Darren Almendarez. We had hoped to be able to provide aerial coverage of the procession as well. Unfortunately, our chopper was grounded because of weather conditions, so we are not going to be able to do that, but we do have a crew at Brookside Funeral Home preparing for that arrival. It looks like Sheriff Ed Gonzalez is about to speak to the media, so I'm just going to hold on here so we can share his comments with you as well.
Sheriff, this morning we're out here to honor a fallen hero with the highest possible honors that we could do. We did a cordon of honor, and then we also are preparing for the procession that will take him to the funeral home and ultimately his final resting place. The family was gathered here. They were very touched and said they feel the love of the community, the love of the agency, the love of law enforcement here. It's very devastating for them. They're still obviously very heartbroken, but I told them it's also a time to honor and recognize a great man by the way he lived, by the way he died, and the ultimate sacrifice that he made. So we're out here today as a very grateful agency and a grateful community that embraces its law enforcement.
An incredibly large family out here.
Yes, very large, large extended family. They come from many places and have flown here or driven here to be a part of all this. So we're just very touched, and we just want to make sure that we help support them through this process and help honor a hero and let them also experience a part of it as well. Absolutely. I mean, I think it's very personal. Many of them worked with him in different assignments. They really appreciated and loved him, and reminisce about him. A lot of stories have been shared, and also hits home. Here recently, we also lost another Precinct 7 deputy constable just the other day, very tragically. So it's been a very tough few days as well as few months here in the greater Harris County when it's come to the loss of local law enforcement.
Some words in Spanish. Dimos a la
Sí.
familia.
Estamos aquí para apoyar la familia, estos honores para llevar a la familia con esta, vamos a guiar lo que está pasando aquí. Ya estamos listos para apoyar a la familia, vienen de diferentes lugares y estamos listos para darle honor a un gran héroe. Thank you so much.
That was Sheriff Ed Gonzalez with some final comments as the procession began, transporting Deputy Darren Almendarez's body from the medical examiner's office up to Brookside Funeral Home off the East Tex Freeway. If that is typically part of your commute, if you notice those flashing lights and a lot of law enforcement presence, that is why this procession is going through the city, honoring a man who served Harris County for 23 years. And before we hop off here, I also want to share some of what a longtime coworker told us. David Cuevas started around the same time as Deputy Almendarez with the Harris County Sheriff's Office.
Well, I met Darren when he first hired on, and we worked together in our detention facility. And as the years progressed, we went out on patrol together, and eventually we both went to investigations. I promoted, and he continued to stay in investigations. We would sit down and discuss a couple of different things because we're from the same area. And so I think it's real important that when we speak of Darren, we look at the greatness of him and what he accomplished, not only as an employee, but as a person. And so it's a tragic loss, and he laid down his life and paid the ultimate sacrifice by defending the public, protecting his wife, and going after 3 crooks who disregarded public safety. Darren is a great man, great father. He was a husband. He was a pillar of the community, and he was well admired by the agency. And so it's a tragic loss, but our brothers and sisters in blue are going to rally and unite and support his family. And we just continue to ask the public for support and pray for the Almendarez family. We're all feeling pretty emotional. I've known Darren for 23 years. The Sheriff's Office family and the law enforcement family is hurting, but we're going to persevere and continue to do our job. We just want the public to know and to continue to pray for our families because it's very rough on us right now.
And it's clear the outpouring from the community is just an indication of what a difference Deputy Almendarez made. You heard from Sheriff Ed Gonzalez that the family has really felt the love from the community. Just looking through the Facebook comments, so many of you sending up prayers, condolences, love for his family and friends. We are still waiting to learn details about memorial or funeral service for Deputy Almendarez. We will bring that information to you, sharing it on social media as well as KHOU.com as soon as we learn those details. But in the meantime, we are working on putting something together for KHOU 11 News at noon, and you can always stream us on Roku, Fire TV, and YouTube as well. Have a wonderful day.